You are listening to the audio production of Airborne by Diann Mills, published by Tyndale House Publishers. This book is read by Charity Spencer. Chapter 1. Houston, early July, Monday, 6 p.m. Vacations offered a distraction for those who longed to relax and rejuvenate, but FBI Special Agent Heather Lawrence wrestled with the decision to take an overseas trip alone. Normally, she arrived for a flight at IAH, eager to embark upon a new adventure. Not this time. Her vacation expectations had bottomed out over 4 weeks ago after Chad had slammed the door on reconciliation. Was she working through her grief or avoiding the reality of a husband who no longer wanted her? She waited to board the flight in a designated line at the gate. The hum of voices blended with airport beeps and announcements swirled around her as though enticing her to join the enthusiasm. In the line beside her, passengers shifted their carry-ons and positioned their mobile devices or paper boarding passes. Ready, alert, people eager to be on their way. Heather offered a smile to those nearest her. An adorable little blonde boy with an older woman found it hard to stand still. A middle-aged couple held hands. The bald head and pasty skin of the man indicated a medical condition. He stumbled, and the woman reached for him. A robust man held a violin case next to his heart. A 20-something woman with pink hair and a man behind her with a scruffy beard exchanged a kiss. Chad used to steal kisses. If she pinpointed the exact moment when he chose to separate himself from her, she'd say when he returned from a third trip for Doctors Without Borders late last fall. He'd witnessed suffering and cruel deaths that had scarred him. She'd encouraged his desire to help others, not realizing their future would take a back seat. While he drove toward success, their marriage drifted across the lanes and stalled in a rut. The boarding line moved toward the jetway. Each step shook her to the core, as though she should turn and try to reverse the past 7 months. She'd ignored her and Chad's deteriorating relationship in an effort to make him happy. A huge mistake. But she didn't intend to add the labels beaten or weak to her dossier. A cell phone sounded, and a man boarding in front of her stopped to answer it. His shoulders stiffened under a tan sports coat, and he talked in hushed tones. Heather dug her fingers into her palms and forced one foot in front of the other while the man pocketed his cell phone and proceeded into business class. A flight attendant greeted her, a dark-haired young man wearing a wide smile, relaxed and genuine, an obvious sign he enjoyed his job. She returned the gesture. His black jacket with 2 rows of silver braid on the sleeves and black trousers were magazine perfect. Heather walked to a rear aisle seat in business class and hoisted her tote bag into the overhead compartment. Although it held essentials for every emergency in case her luggage was delayed, the bulging piece weighed less than the burden on her heart. Easing onto her seat, Heather pulled the brochure from her shoulder bag describing Salzburg's music festival, a celebration of musicians past and present. First, a layover in Frankfurt, and then on to her destination. She'd rented an apartment for 10 days within walking distance of the historical center. The flexibility allowed her to choose her itinerary and cook or dine out. From the online photos, the centuries-old building had just enough updates to be comfortable without damaging its historic charm. She'd have hours to explore Mozart's roots, museums, the many churches, immerse herself in the culture, and think. A female passenger sporting red spiked hair and chin-length hooped earrings stopped beside her. The woman carried a venti Starbucks. "Excuse me," her German accent a reminder of the destination. "Would you mind holding my coffee while I store my carry-on?" Of course. Heather held the cup while the woman shoved her small suitcase into the overhead bin. "Sorry for the inconvenience. I wasn't thinking when I bought the coffee. It smells heavenly." Heather stood to let the woman pass and then handed her the cup. "Thank you." The woman blew on the lid and took a sip. "I'm Mia." "I'm Heather. Long flight ahead, but soon I'll be home." She pointed to Heather's brochure. "Salzburg?" "Yes, for a much-needed vacation." "I'm from Frankfurt. Really missing my daughter and husband." "You'll see the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?